Dear students, welcome to the another video of Wbbse. Today we will discuss about the synapse. So what is synapse? We know that synapse is the junction between two neurons, that is the nerve cell. So this is the structure of a neuron. Neuron look like this. This is a structure of neuron. Okay, and at the end of the neuron, that is the bulb like structure, which is known as synaptic knob. So this is a neuron, and here is the another neuron. Okay, so a neuron or the nerve cell is not a continuous or not fused or joined together. They have a gap or junction between them. So this is the junction of a neuron between two neurons. So if this is the presynaptic knob, okay, actually this is the part of the axon. This is the part of a axon. Next, this is the postsynaptic knob. Tick knob. Okay, so this is the part of a dendron. So presynaptic knob is the part of axon, and the postsynaptic knob is the part of the dendron. We know that dendron is the part or extension of the cell bodies. A neuron is divided into two parts, that is the cell body or soma or cyton, and the elongated part is known as axon. So this is the part of the axon and this is the part of a dendron. So synapse is the junction between two neurons, and it is made up of both axon and dendron. This total part is the synapse. Okay, this is the synapse. Okay, so this gap between these two neurons, this part is known as synaptic cleft. Synaptic cleft. So there is a misconception between that synapse and synaptic cleft, that is, we always consider the gap between the two neurons is the synapse. That is incorrect. The synapse is actually made up of the part of the postsynaptic knob and the presynaptic knob, and the synaptic cleft is the part that is the gap between two neurons, that is gap between presynaptic and postsynaptic knob. Now, what is the function or what is the importance of the synapse? Synapse is actually, we know that impulse is provided through the nerve cell or neuron is the electrical impulse. Electrical impulse that passes through the passes through the neuron. Okay, so inside the neuron the impulse passes, that is electrical impulse, but when it is released from the neuron and released into the this synaptic cleft, it is the chemical impulse. So there is a interchange or exchange of electrical impulse as well as the chemical impulse. So in the synaptic nerve there have so many vesicles like structure. These are the vesicle. These are known as synaptic vesicle. Synaptic vesicle. This synaptic vesicle actually the package of some chemicals which is known as neurotransmitter. These synaptic vesicle contain the chemicals which is known as neurotransmitter. Also, this is known as neurohormone. Okay, so these synaptic vesicles mainly contain the chemicals which is known as the neurotransmitter or neurohormone. What is the example? This neurohormone or neurotransmitter may be excitatory or inhibitory. That means they can promote a reaction or impulse or inhibit some impulse. So one example of excitatory neurotransmitter example is the acetylcholine. Acetylcholine, the example. Next, the inhibitory neurotransmitter. What is the example? The example is the GABA. The full form of GABA is gamma amino butyric acid. Gamma amino butyric acid. This is the inhibitory neurotransmitter. Okay, so this is the example of excitatory and inhibitory transmitter. This can be made a MCQ or a very short type question. That example of excitatory neurotransmitter or inhibitory neurotransmitter. So this neurotransmitter gets released when it fused with the membrane of the presynaptic nerve. How? ঠিক আছে হ্যাঁ suppose this is the part of the presynaptic knob and this is the vesicle, that is synaptic vesicle, which contain the neurotransmitter. Then it get fused with the membrane of the presynaptic knob. How? Get fused like this, and it will release its chemical, that is neurotransmitter, in the junction or gap between pre and post synaptic nerve, which is known as synaptic cleft. It is released into the synaptic cleft. When it is released into the synaptic cleft, in the post synaptic nerve, there have some receptors. This is the post synaptic nerve, and there have some receptors which the receptor get, or the neurotransmitter get attached into the receptor molecule of the post synaptic nerve. By this attachment, the voltage get changed inside the post synaptic nerve. Then the voltage get changed inside the second neuron, that is which was the post synaptic nerve. This voltage get transmitted throughout the neuron and it reach to the cell body, then the axon, and next to the synaptic nerve or axon ending. And when it reach to the axon ending, it act like the presynaptic nerve, and the next neuron act as a postsynaptic nerve. That's how the impulse transmitted one by one neuron, and this is happens in a fraction of second. So this is about the synapse and its function. That's why this synapse is known as the physiological valve. Physiological valve. So what is the function of valve? It actually release the chemical or anything in one way direction, and this synapse is only happens in the one way direction. That's why this is known as the physiological valve. So this is all about the synapse. That's all for the today's video. If you like to get more such informative video, you may subscribe our YouTube channel Wbbse, and also follow our Facebook page Wbbse. Thank you.
Wbbse, learn, grow, succeed.